90 days. That's all it takes to change everything. Not a lifetime, not a decade, not even a year, just 90 days. 90 days of war against your old self. 90 days of war against your excuses. 90 days of relentless, disciplined action, and the life you thought was out of reach begins to show its face. But here's the truth that nobody tells you. The life you want is closer than you think. The life you dream about is hiding on the other side of 90 brutal, beautiful, disciplined days. The question is not, can you do it? The question is, will you? Will you stay loyal to the vision when the world begs you to stay average? Will you fight for yourself when no one else even notices you're in a battle? Will you endure when the rewards are invisible and the applause is silent? Because 90 days of insane focus will beat 10 years of half-hearted effort. You already have what you need. You already have the dream. You already have the ability. You already have the hunger. But hunger without discipline rots into regret. You think you're waiting for the perfect moment. You think you're waiting for a sign. You think you're waiting for the fear to disappear. You're wrong. You're waiting for a decision. The one decision that separates those who dream from those who do. The decision to show up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. The decision to shut down the noise and build your future while others drown in distractions. The decision to suffer for a little while so you can live free for the rest of your life. Because the pain of discipline is a whisper compared to the screaming agony of regret. 90 days. That's all it takes to separate yourself from the average. That's all it takes to start walking a different road. The road few ever find because most refuse to even look for it. And it begins with one simple act. You start, not next Monday, not after the holidays, not after you feel more ready, more motivated, more inspired. Today, now you wake up different. You move different. You think different. You no longer treat your goals like wishes. You treat them like non-negotiable contracts you have signed with your own soul. Every workout, every hour of focused work, every page read, every dollar saved, every decision to push forward when everything inside you wants to pull back, it compounds, it multiplies, it builds momentum, and that momentum is a monster. Once it awakens, it is nearly impossible to stop. Most people never feel it. Most people quit at the first hint of difficulty. Most people listen to the whisper of doubt louder than the roar of destiny. But you will be different. You will taste the resistance and smile. You will feel the discomfort and lean into it. Because you will understand something they never will. The obstacle is not the enemy. The obstacle is the gate. The struggle is not punishment. The struggle is proof that you're still in the fight. The struggle is the sign that the old you is dying, and the real you is being born. And that is what 90 days of savage discipline will do. It will kill the old you, the lazy you, the distracted you, the scared you, the doubting you. And it will give birth to a force so unstoppable, so unshakable, so magnetic that the world won't know what hit it. 90 days of radical ownership. 90 days of no excuses. 90 days of getting up when it would be easier to stay down. Imagine the power you will hold. Imagine the momentum you will create. Imagine the fire you will ignite inside yourself that no storm, no failure, no betrayal can ever extinguish again. But it will not be handed to you. It must be seized. Seized in the early mornings when your mind screams for sleep. Seized in the lonely nights when the results still seem invisible. Seized in the quiet moments when no one else is watching, and only you will know if you stayed true. You will know. And that knowledge will become your armor. Because the truth is, nobody can take from you what you have built through discipline. Nobody can steal the pride you earn through struggle. It is yours, yours forever. The rewards the world can take, the trophies, the applause, the money, those are nice, but they are not the real treasure. The real treasure is who you become. The real treasure is the way you walk differently, the way you speak differently, the way you think differently. The real treasure is waking up every morning and knowing you are no longer a slave to weakness. You are no longer at the mercy of the winds. You are no longer a prisoner of your old life. You are free because you earned it. And it all started with 90 days. 90 days of ruthless clarity. 90 days of savage action. 90 days of radical self-respect. Give it 90 days, and the results will shock you. Shock your family, shock your enemies. shock the world, but most of all, shock yourself. Because when you finally meet the version of you who was always sleeping inside, you will wonder why you ever doubted your own power. 90 days will not just change your results, it will change your identity. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're voting for the person you are becoming. Every time you show up tired, uncertain, and still move forward, you are carving into your soul the words, "I am unstoppable." You are not just building habits. You are building a reputation with yourself. And that reputation, that private, sacred relationship between who you say you are and who you actually prove yourself to be, that is the real foundation of your power. When you trust yourself, you move differently. You speak with weight. You walk with a quiet authority that cannot be faked. People can sense it. The world can feel it. It's not bravado. It's not noise. It's the deep, resonant energy of someone who has paid the price in silence and is now cashing the check in strength. But that trust, that power, is only built one way: through discipline in the dark, through sacrifices no one sees, through choices no one claps for. You will be tempted to quit. You will hear the voices. It's not working. You deserve a break. Maybe this isn't for you. But understand this: those voices are the last screams of your old self, begging for survival. And if you stop now, if you surrender, you will breathe life back into the weakness you came here to destroy. But if you endure, if you press forward even one more day, one more decision, one more action, you will starve that old identity. You will kill it once and for all. And something new will rise from the ashes, something powerful, something unstoppable, something untouchable. Because what you're building in these 90 days is not just a better life, it's a better you. A version of yourself that no longer negotiates with fear, no longer seeks validation from the distracted and the bitter, no longer bends under the weight of temporary discomfort. A version of you that sees resistance not as a wall, but as a proving ground, not as a barrier, but as a forge. The obstacles you face are not there to stop you. They are there to reveal you. They are there to strip away the excuses, the weakness, the hesitation, until all that's left is the core of who you really are: a creator, a builder, a force. This is not about working hard for 90 days and then coasting. This is about igniting a fire that will burn so fiercely inside you that it becomes impossible to go back to the way things were. Because once you taste your own real potential, not the fantasy, but the reality of it, you will never settle again. You will look back and realize the version of you that doubted, that delayed, that hesitated, that version died somewhere along the path of these 90 days, and the new you, the true you, was born. The you that doesn't wait for motivation. The you that doesn't negotiate with fear. The you that acts relentlessly, ruthlessly, without apology. But it begins with the decision to endure the early mornings when the world is still asleep, to endure the days when progress feels like a myth, to endure the nights when doubt presses against your chest and begs you to fold. You endure not because it is easy, but because you know who you are becoming on the other side of the suffering. You endure because you understand what most never will. Temporary pain is the toll you pay for permanent power. And if you can pay that toll, if you can carry that weight for just a little longer than your old self ever thought possible, then you can break through into a life that doesn't just look different. It feels different. It breathes differently. It sings differently. It lives differently. A life where fear no longer has a voice. A life where doubt no longer has a seat at the table. A life where the noise of the world fades into nothing beneath the roar of your own focused, disciplined existence. Give it 90 days. 90 real days. Not perfect days. Not easy days. Just disciplined days. Days where you rise when it would be easier to sleep. Days where you move when it would be easier to sit. Days where you believe when it would be easier to doubt. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to be lucky. You need only to be willing. Willing to fight a little longer. Willing to believe a little harder. Willing to push when most would fold. And if you dare to give everything for 90 short, savage, sacred days, then you will stand at the end of it looking at a life and a self that you barely recognize. You will stand taller, walk straight, move faster. You will realize that the life you thought would take 10 years, the strength you thought you could never possess, the success you thought was reserved for the lucky or the blessed, it was always within you. always, waiting for you to get serious enough, hungry enough, disciplined enough to finally reach for it. You will see it clearly. You will feel it in your bones. You will know you didn't need more time. You didn't need more talent. You didn't need more luck. You needed 90 days of ruthless self-respect, 90 days of radical discipline, 90 days of loyalty to the person you were meant to become. And when you cross that line, when you meet the future you've been chasing, you won't be surprised. You will know, deep, deep in your chest, that you earned it, that every sacrifice mattered, that every lonely hour, every early morning, every quiet night spent building, stacking, climbing, it all counted. The universe doesn't ignore effort. It multiplies it. Effort compounds the same way debt does, day by day, action by action, belief by belief, until one day the dam breaks and the flood rushes in. The opportunities you once prayed for will now chase you. The life you once saw only in dreams will stand before you, real and undeniable. Not because you were lucky, but because you were disciplined, because you were relentless, because you made a decision and you refused to break it. And here's the most beautiful part. It's not just the rewards you'll earn, it's the gratitude you'll feel. Gratitude not for the easy moments, gratitude for the struggle, gratitude for the fight, gratitude for the version of you that refused to quit even when every part of you wanted to, gratitude for the pain that sharpened you, gratitude for the discipline that freed you. Because in the end, greatness isn't about what you achieve, it's about who you become. It's about standing in front of the mirror and seeing someone you are finally proud of, not because of the trophies, not because of the titles, not because of the applause, but because you kept the promises you made to yourself when it was the hardest to keep them. You fought for yourself. You believed when no one else could see it yet. You acted when motivation was nowhere to be found. And that is rare. That is sacred. Most will never experience it. Most will quit at the first sign of resistance. Most will live and die waiting for the world to hand them the life they were supposed to build with their own hands. But you will not be most people. You will be different. You will be the living proof that discipline, belief, vision, and relentless action can change everything. You will be the living proof that 90 days of savage focus can do what years of half-living could not. You will be the evidence that greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It is reserved for the ones who choose themselves. And it all starts today. It starts now. It starts with the decision to stop waiting, to stop negotiating with comfort, to stop postponing your destiny. You have 90 days ahead of you, 90 days that could rip you out of the orbit of average forever, 90 days that could break the chains you've lived with for too long. You already have the power inside you. You already have the fire. You don't need permission. You don't need a perfect plan. You need action. You need discipline. You need courage. You need to move. Today, right now, because the dream is real, the greatness is real, the future you crave is real, but it will not come to the one who waits. It will come to the one who dares, who fights, who refuses to quit when comfort calls and fear screams. And if you give yourself 90 days, if you go all in with no excuses, no escape hatches, no second guessing, the results will not just shock the world, they will shock you. They will wake up the part of you that always knew you were meant for more. They will shatter the limits you once thought were real. They will reveal a power inside you that no one, not even you, knew existed. So stand up, straighten your spine, set your jaw, and walk into the next 90 days like your life depends on it. Because it does. The old life, the small life, is dying. The new life, the powerful life, is waiting, and it's yours to claim. If you want it, move. If you believe it, act. If you are ready to finally meet the real you, give it 90 days. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to stay in this fight for greatness, subscribe now. Join a movement of people who are done playing small. Join the few who are willing to pay the price for the life they deserve. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and make this your declaration. My time is now. My life is mine, and I will not waste another day. 90 days. Everything changes, starting now.